Hi, welcome to yoga. My name is Kirsten. Let's go ahead and start seated. So come to a comfortable seated position. Maybe sit on a folded blanket or a block or pillow. Give the shoulders a little bit of a roll, just a few times, and then let them come to stillness, dropping away from the ears. Notice the crown of the head grow nice and tall toward the ceiling. Maybe allow the eyes to start to close or soften the gaze. Deepen the inhale, inhaling through the nose. And a nice long exhale through the nose. Good. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Soften the muscles of the face. Relax the shoulders. Notice any thoughts or stress or feelings that are lingering with you. Notice them. Imagine they are like a stranger sitting next to you on a park bench. So they're here, but they're not the same as you. They're not part of you. Allow them to be here. And when they're ready, allow them to get up and move along their way. Giving the stress, giving the thoughts permission to stay or go while we remain focused and still. Good. You can allow the eyes to flutter open if you like. And take the hands, start to walk the hands out in front of you along the floor, bowing the head down toward the floor, lengthen the back of the neck. And keep breathing. Now imagine there's a clock on the floor around us. So our hands right now might be at 12 o'clock. We're going to very slowly walk the hands to 1 o'clock. So just a little movement to the right. And keep breathing. Notice if you feel a stretch along the left side. Good. Now walk the hands to 2 o'clock. So just a little further to the right. Good. Walk the hands around to 3 o'clock. So directly over to the right. Now as we move to 4 o'clock, just bring the right hand to 4 o'clock. So slightly behind right of the body, and take the left hand all the way up and over. Side stretch. Good. Bring the left hand down for support. Walk the right hand to 5 o'clock. Leaning back. Maybe allow the chin to start to come up. Don't crunch the back of the neck. Just kind of opening the front side body. Good, and equal weight to both hands. 6 o'clock, straight back. Gaze up toward the ceiling. Maintain length in the back of the neck. So nice long neck. Raising the chin toward the ceiling, opening the front of the chest, front of the shoulders. Good, and leaning over to the left, 7 o'clock. And 8 o'clock with the left hand, right arm comes up and over. Slip the right arm down, meet at 9 o'clock. Hands walk forward to 10 o'clock, bowing the nose toward the knee. And 11 o'clock. And back to 12. I'll walk the hands, come back up to a seat. Let's switch the legs. So put your opposite foot in front. And we'll go the other direction. So counterclockwise, hands walk forward to 12 o'clock. Bow the head forward. And walk to the left, 11 o'clock. And one more step to the left, 10 o'clock, nose toward the knee. Nine o'clock, straight out to the left. Left hand comes to 8 o'clock, right arm up and over, side stretch. Good, right arm comes down for support. Walk the left hand to 7 o'clock. Open the front of the chest, open the right side of the neck. Almost leading with the right jaw toward the ceiling. Six o'clock, leading with the chin toward the ceiling, lengthen the back of the neck. Maybe find an arch in the spine. Drop the shoulder blades back and together. Maybe squeeze the shoulder blades together. Go and walk the right hand to 5 o'clock. Left jaw up toward the ceiling. And 4 o'clock, right, a left arm comes up and over. Good, drop the left hand, 3 o'clock. Walk forward 2 o'clock, nose to knee. Walk forward to 1 o'clock. And back to 12. Nice deep breath in and out through the nose. Go ahead and walk the hands back up to a seat. Excellent. Give the shoulders a few rolls here again. All right, beautiful. And come into stillness. Bring the hands by the sides. Open the shoulders, looking up toward the ceiling, similar to what we did for 6 o'clock. Really opening the front of the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Good. And come back to neutral spine. And reach the hands out in front, maybe clasp hands, stretching the arms forward, round the back, drop the chin to the chest. Good, and come back to neutral. Once again, arms back, open the chest. And back to neutral. And round the chest, drop the chin. And back to neutral. Good. Roll the wrists. Bring some circles into the wrists here. And other direction. Got a hand stretch. So grab the fingers with the opposite hand. It's a little hard to see because I'm wearing gloves, but you hold your fingers down. So we're opening the palm toward the ceiling. Nice, good stretch along the forearm, the wrist, the palm, the fingers. Good, and switch hands. Breathing into the stretch. Don't stretch so far that it feels like it's pulling or hurting. Just nice opening of the wrist and arm that are often neglected. Good, roll those wrists again. Now opposite, so we're going to stretch the fingertips down. So this is stretching the back of my hand, the back of my forearm. And switch hands. Good, shake it out. Now fold the hands together and open the palms up toward the ceiling, stretching nice and high. Good, and release the hands back to the knees. You can allow the eyes to close again if you'd like, or just soften the gaze past the nose. We're going to do a little bit of work with bandhas. So the bandhas are internal binds or holds. And there are 3 main bandhas that we look at. One is Mula Bandha, and that is at the pelvic floor. So this is a hold. This is tightening the pelvic floor, and energetically, it helps us contain our energy. So if we imagine that the body is like an energy container, Mula Bandha pulling up on the pelvic floor helps to close the bottom of the container and hold our energy in. So very gently pull up on the pelvic floor. I've heard it described as if you imagine a spider web, and here's the spider web, and if you were to pinch the center of the spider web and just pull up very gently, not so hard that you'd actually break it, but just pulling up on the center of the spider web, Mula Bandha, and keep breathing. Good. The second bandha is Uddiyana Bandha, and this is at the sacrum, so right above the belly button area. And this one, you imagine that the motion is you're pulling in and up. So it's almost that, in a lot of exercise, we might talk about pulling the belly button toward the spine. So it's that pulling the belly button in toward the spine, but then also a sense of pulling up for support. So try that. Uddiyana Bandha. Good, and release. And see if you can pull together both Mula Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha. Excuse me, Uddiyana Bandha. It's a tongue twister. Good, and release. And the last one is Jalandhara Bandha. And this is at the throat or the chin. So again, imagining the container of energy, this is sealing the top of the container. So we're going to draw the chin in toward the throat, lengthening the back of the neck. It's a very subtle movement. All of these are very, very subtle movements. So drawing the chin in, sealing the top of the container, holding our energy in, and release. Take a nice deep breath in and breath out. And now let's try all three. So Mula Bandha, pulling up on the pelvic floor. Uddiyana Bandha, pulling in and up at the belly button. And Jalandhara Bandha, tucking the chin, lengthening the back of the neck. Good, and release. And if you notice that the bandhas, not only do they have this kind of energetic imagery that goes along with them, but when we do all three of those things, they all seem to improve our posture. So just that little slight movement seems to bring our spine up nice and tall, lengthen the back of the neck, all those things that we work on for posture improvement. So something to think about today as we practice. Excellent. Bring the arms up overhead. Inhale. And on the exhale, twist to the right. And hold. Good. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, twist to the left. And hold. Good. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, back to rest on the knees. Good. In your own time, let's move into tabletop. So hands and knees. We'll do a little bit of cat-cow, warming up the spine. We've already done quite a bit of warming up the spine, but in this new orientation, so dropping the belly, looking forward, cow, and then rounding back, dropping the head, cat. Inhale as you look forward, cow, and exhale, cat. And inhale, cow, and exhale, cat. Inhale, cow, and exhale, cat. And back to neutral spine. Good. Bring the arms nice and wide, so the hands about as wide as the mat. Turn the fingertips in, elbows out. And from here, we're just going to do a little bit of kind of a push-up movement. So drop the chest towards the floor, staying on the knees, and then push back up to tabletop. Dropping the chest, and push back to tabletop. And come down, and back up to tabletop. Go ahead and bring the hands back to shoulder width. Tuck the toes. Lift the hips all the way up and back. Downward facing dog. Bend the right knee, stretching into the back of the left leg. Good, and switch. Bend the left leg. And switch back. Bend the right. And bend the left. And straighten both legs, downward dog, and hold. Good, drop the knees, tabletop. And we'll come forward into a plank position. So walk the hands forward. You can come up on the knees. Nice long line from the head all the way to the knees. If you'd like to go all the way up onto your toes, if you're able to hold that plank, that's fine. So choose a plank that works for you. Now this time, keeping the elbows nice and close to the body. Lower the body all the way down. And then pressing up to cobra. And release back down to the mat. And press back up to tabletop. Once again, come into plank. Elbows nice and close to the body. And slowly, with control, lower all the way down to the mat. Press up to cobra. And come back down. And back up to tabletop. Good, and last time, plank. Lowering nice and slow, 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 all the way down to the mat. And this time, come up on the elbows, Sphinx pose, and hold. If this is too strong on the back, just go ahead and rest on the mat. You can rest your cheek down to the mat or come into a really low cobra if that's comfortable. So that would be just kind of using the hands to press the head up a little bit. If you're in Sphinx, find some length in the back of the neck, allowing the back to arch to its own comfort level. Good, and release, come back down to the mat, and press all the way up to tabletop. Now walk the knees to the width of the mat, bring the big toes together, press the hips back, drop the head, child pose. Okay, come up to tabletop. Now walk the hands back, keep walking the hands back and come all the way up on the feet into a low squat. Bring the hands together at heart center. And keep breathing. Good, now walk the hands forward. Come all the way into downward facing dog. Now pausing here for a minute, let's go back to our bandhas. So in this downward dog, take the three bandhas. So 1, 2, 3. So pulling up on the pelvic floor very gently, pulling in on the navel, and tucking the chin. And notice if holding these bandhas helps you to maybe straighten the backs of the knees. Open up into downward facing dog just a tad more. Good. Now bend the right knee and step the right foot all the way forward through between the hands. And pause here in this lunge. Dropping the hips, maybe rocking back and forth just a little bit to wake up that left hip. And drop into it. Keep breathing. I'm going to plant the left hand nice and solid on the floor. Raise the right arm up. Lunge twist. And drop the right hand. Now start to walk the hands around to the left, coming all the way around to center, wide leg forward fold. Drop the head toward the floor. Maybe bring a micro bend into both knees so we're not hyperextending the knees. And walk the hands over to the left foot, turning the toes out to the left. Lunge on the other side. Again, if you want to rock back and forth, opening up that right hip, and then drop the hip, really sink into it. And plant the right hand, raise the left arm, twist. And drop the right hand. And once again, walk the hands around to the center. Wide leg forward fold. Good. Inhale, look forward, flat back. And exhale, forward fold one more time. And now bring the hands to the hips. Slowly rolling the spine up to stand. And heel toe the feet together. Good. Tadasana, mountain pose. Stepping to the front edge of the mat, we'll do some sun salutations. So inhale, arms up overhead, look toward the ceiling. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, looking forward. And exhale, forward fold again. Inhale, step back to plank. And exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Tuck the toes and exhale, downward facing dog and hold. Engage the bandhas. And walk the feet forward to meet the hands. Bring the hands to the shins. Inhale, look forward, flat back. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll all the way up to stand. Tadasana. Once again, inhale, arms up overhead. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, look forward. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step back to plank. And exhale, chaturanga, lower all the way to the floor. Inhale, cobra. Tuck the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. This time, engage the bandhas. And also imagine the arms rotating so that the insides of the elbows face forward. So opening the insides of the arms toward the front of the room without moving the wrists or hands. Good. Walk the feet forward to meet the hands. Inhale, flat back, look forward. And exhale, forward fold. Hands to the waist. Roll all the way back up to stand. Tadasana. Sun Salutation B. Sit back into a chair pose and hold. Good. Drop the hands, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, half raise. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Tuck the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step forward. Raise the arms up. Warrior one. And hold. Drop the hands to frame the foot. Step back. Plank. Chaturanga. Cobra. Tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. And step forward with the left foot. Raise the arms up. Warrior one. Drop the hands to frame the foot. Step back to plank. Lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog, and hold. Good. Walk the feet forward to meet the hands. Bring the hands to the waist. Bend the knees, sit back into chair. Reach the arms out for counterbalance. And come to stand, Tadasana. Now take a step to about hip width apart. Hands back to the waist. Inhale, shine the chest forward. And exhale, forward fold. You can reach the hands to the shins, the ankles, maybe grab the big toes with peace fingers, the first two fingers. Good. Inhale, flat back, look forward. And exhale, forward fold again. Good. Bring the hands back to the waist. And slowly come back up to stand. Head is elastic. Come up so we don't get dizzy. And Tadasana. Bring the feet back together, right next to each other. Perfect. Good. And standing here in mountain pose, Tadasana, let's engage the bandhas again. So pulling up on the pelvic floor, pulling in on and up on the belly button, and tucking the chin, lengthening the back of the neck. And notice how that feels. Notice the difference in posture. Notice if you feel like you want to automatically drop your shoulders, stand up straighter. Keep breathing. Good, and release. Now, taking a wide-ish step, so not the widest that you could, but pretty wide, we're going to go into a warrior two series. So bend the right leg, so right toes, are pointing toward the short edge of the mat. Back toes are at about 45-degree angle for support. Arms come up, facing forward and back. Gaze is over the front fingertips. And once again, pull those bandhas in. That will really help support the core, support this pose. Good. Leading with the left hand, sweep the arm down, around, and forward, coming to lean very gently on the front bent leg, side angle pose. You can stay here or maybe start to reach the hand toward the floor. Good. Come back up. So you stay where you are. I'm going to flip around so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, same. Right leg forward. Perfect. All right. Bring the hands together at palm center. Nice wide elbows. We'll go into a side angle twist. So coming up off the back heel, start to twist to the right. And you can stay here or start to drop the left elbow to the outside of the right knee, looking up toward the ceiling, pressing the palms toward heart center, twist. Excellent. Straighten the leg, come back up. Plant the back foot to 45 degrees, straighten the right leg, arms forward and back, lean forward over the right foot, and windmill the arms down into a triangle pose. Good, come back up, two arms forward and back, and we'll do triangle twist, so same idea. Lift the back heel up off the mat, straight front leg, left hand comes down to the floor, and right arm up toward the ceiling. And you'll notice my front leg isn't fully straight. We want to protect that knee, of course. Good. Drop the right hand to the floor, bend the knee, come into a lunge. And walk your hands all the way around to the opposite side, switching sides. Bend the left knee, so left knee is now in front. Warrior two, so arms come up, facing forward and back. Gaze over the left fingertips. Engaging the bandhas. Dropping the shoulders. Good, now taking the right hand, swooping it down, forward and around. We'll come into a side angle. You can stay here or start to reach toward the floor. Side angle on the floor. Good, come back up. Then we'll go into a side angle twist. So once again, hands, palms together at heart center, twist to the left, come up off the back heel, and we can stay here or bring the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Good, straighten that front knee, come up, plant the back foot to 45 degrees, arms front and back, reach forward, and come down into triangle pose, Trikonasana. Now drop the right hand to the mat, raise the back heel, the right heel off the ground. Lift the left arm, triangle twist. Drop the left hand, come back into a lunge. And now this time bring the right foot all the way forward to meet the left and slowly roll back up to stand, mountain pose, Tadasana. Let's take a moment to get centered again, engaging those bandhas, hands by the sides, palms face forward. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Lift all 10 toes off the ground and then place them down, really gripping into the mat, nice solid base. Good. Move into some balance. So start to bring the weight into the left leg. We'll do a tree balance. So you can start by just kickstanding the right foot. And this is just fine if this works for you today, or you can start to bring the right foot off the mat. You can rest on the ankle, the shin, maybe come all the way up the leg. Just don't want to rest right on the knee joint. So find a place that's comfortable. My hips catch, so they don't like to go up super high. So I usually stay right below the knees. Find a spot that works for you. Might wobble a little bit. Find a point to stare at that is unmoving, a drishti. Maybe bring the arms out to a T for balance. If you're not digging that, you can bring the hands together at heart center or grow the branches of your tree nice and tall. So find a good arm position. Let's stay out at a T today. Good, and release and switch sides. Maybe shake that out. Bring the weight into the right foot. Kickstand the left. Arms to your preferred arm position. And start to bring the foot to where it's comfortable. Once again, engage the bandhas. 1, 2, 3. Provides extra stability for the core, extra strength, engagement. Good, and release. Excellent. Roll that ankle, shake it out a little bit. Bring the weight back into the left foot, and we'll bend the right knee, hugging the knee into the chest. You're welcome to stay here. You can start to reach for the big toe with peace fingers. And if this is working for you, you can stay here. Maybe bring the opposite arm out for balance. And if you'd like to give it a try, straighten that leg. Keep breathing. Maybe even bring that leg out to the side. Good. Bring the leg back to face front. Let go of the foot. Hands to the waist. Hold, 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 and release. Excellent. Other side. So bring the weight into the right foot. Bend the left knee. Hug the knee into the chest. And you're welcome to stay here. Bring that arm out to a T. Or start to reach for the big toe. And as you're ready, straighten that left leg. And draw the left leg out to the left side. Engage the bandhas, engage the core. And back to face front. Let go of the foot, hands to the hips. Hold, 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 and release. Nice job. Nice deep breath in and out. Another deep breath in. An audible sigh through the mouth. Good. Excellent. Now taking the feet a little bit wider than hip width. Just going to turn a little bit sideways here. Turn the toes out and bend the knees. We're going to come all the way down into a wide squat. Bring your hands to heart center. And stay here and breathe. Opening the hips, dropping into the squat. Good. Now you can stay here. Or if you'd like to play around with the beginnings of crow pose, if crow pose is in your practice, go ahead and go into whatever works for you. If you have not done this before, we're going to bring the hands to rest on the mat. We're going to bend the elbows. So we've done some push-ups, some chaturanga. So we've got that strength in the arms going today. So a slight bend to the elbows. We'll bring the knees to rest on the upper arm, so above the elbows, as we start to shift the weight forward into the arms. And at first, just play around with leaning, right? So lean the knee on the upper arm, leaning the weight forward. If you want to grab a pillow to put under your head, just in case you topple forward, go for it. And from here, maybe you start to find a balance. So start to bring one foot up off the ground and maybe the other. Not sure if I can do that and keep talking. I'm going to keep one toe down today. Good. And come out of it as you're ready. Come back to a squat, hands to heart center. And in your own time, come back to sit on your seat. Keep your feet together. Soles of the feet together. We'll go into a butterfly stretch. Hang on to the feet. Open the chest. Look forward. Inhale. And exhale. Start to bow forward, nose towards the toes. And sit back up. Straighten the legs along the mat. And walk the hands down the legs, reaching for the shins, the ankles, maybe the bottoms of the feet or big toes. Forward fold. Walk the hands up the legs, come back to a seat. Bend the left leg, bring the left foot to the inside of the right leg. And walk the hands down the right leg, single leg, forward fold. come back up to a seat. Take that same bent knee, raise the knee up, plant the foot to the ground, hug the knee in nice and tight, and twist. You can also twist away from the knee if this is uncomfortable. Looking over the shoulder. Inhale, grow the crown of the head taller, and exhale, twist a little deeper. Engage the bandhas in this position. Notice if that allows you to twist a little further. And back to face forward, straighten the leg. Bend the other leg, bring the sole of the foot to the inside of the left, and single leg forward fold. Walk the hands back up to a seat. Hug that knee into the chest and twist. Once again, twist to the right or the left. Either way is fine. Engage the bandhas. Mula Bandha pulling up on the pelvic floor. Uddiyana Bandha pulling in and up on the belly button area. And Jalandhara Bandha tucking the chin, lengthening the back of the throat. Feel the support. Feel yourself growing taller and twisting deeper. And release. Come back to staff pose. Good. Now start to shift the weight back onto the tailbone. We'll go into a boat. So you can grab the backs of the knees and start to raise the feet up off the floor, balancing on the back of the kind of tailbone area. If you'd like to let go with the hands, reach the arms up and forward, and maybe even straightening the legs. Good, and release. Come back to lie on the mat. Bring the soles of the feet nice and close to the body. Go into a bridge. So walk the shoulder blades together underneath you, and then start to peel the tailbone up off the floor, rolling the back up, leading with the hip points, raising the hips all the way up toward the ceiling. And release. Roll the back down to the mat. Good. One more time. Rolling the hips up, leading with the hip points, nice and tall, and hold. Maybe walk the hands together, walk the arms under you. And release the arms. Slowly roll the back down to the mat. Good. Straighten both legs. Lift both legs up in the air. Soles of the feet as if they're standing on the ceiling. Now, rest the hands. You can just rest the hands on the thighs for now. Now engage the bandhas. So 1, 2, 3. And as we tuck the chin, also lift the shoulders and head up off the floor. If that's comfortable, if that's painful, just keep the head on the mat, tucking the chin, engaging those bandhas. But if you are able and willing, lift just the head and shoulders up off the mat. The chin is tucked, but not resting on the chest. So there is some good space there. Maybe reach the hands up toward the toes. Maybe they even reach and grab the toes. Tucking that chin again, making sure we're keeping our posture. And release the hands. With control, drop the head back down to the mat and release the legs. Now leave the left foot on the mat, cross the right foot over, figure 4. Hug the knees in, stretching the right side of the hip, outer leg. Go ahead and drop the legs over to the left. Open the arms to a T, look over the right shoulder, twist. Go ahead and come back to center and switch legs. Figure 4, left crosses over right. Hug them in. Stretching the outside of the left leg. And drop the legs over to the right. Arms to a T. Look over the left shoulder, twist. Good. Bring the legs back up. Hug the knees into the chest. Rock back and forth. Release the low back. Before we move into our final rest, Shavasana. So we've got our options for Shavasana. You can keep the knees bent. Bring the feet nice and wide as the mat. Knock the knees together. Constructive rest. You can go into a reclined butterfly with the feet together, knees wide. Or straighten the legs along the mat. Corpse pose. Final rest, Shavasana. Find a comfortable position. Maybe you can even have the legs more or less straight with a blanket or pillow under the knees for support. So find a Shavasana that works for you today. Allow the eyes to close. And start to let go of all the tension. We worked hard in this class, so letting go of the physical tension from the yoga poses, revisiting that stranger on the park bench. Do we have any thoughts, any emotions, any stress, any plans, any memories, anything that's crowding our space? Just notice that feeling or thought. Notice what's arising for you right now. Allow it to be. But if it leaves, if it gets up to go on its way, don't follow it. Just stay right here. Recentering, coming back to the sensation of relaxing. So relaxing the legs, the feet, the hands, the arms, the shoulders, the face. Purposefully relaxing the muscles of the body. And purposefully bringing the mind back to the feeling of lying here in Shavasana, maybe the feeling of the breath coming and going, feeling of relaxation. Notice if the mind has started to wander. Bring it back. Notice if any new thoughts or tension have arisen. Let them be. Let them go. And starting to bring attention back into the space. Start to lengthen the inhale and lengthen the exhale. And slowly moving the fingers and toes, rolling the wrists and the ankles. Be stretching the arms overhead, full body stretch. And at your own pace, rolling over to the side and pressing with the arms up to come into a seat. And you're ready, bring the palms together at heart center, Anjali Mudra, balancing the left and right hemispheres of the brain, finding peace and centering. Thank you so much for joining me for this time today. Be well. Namaste.